Hello everyone, my name is Pragya, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, School of Basic and Applied Sciences, and today we are going to discuss about the topic photoelectric effect. If I talk about the contents, so firstly we will discuss about introduction to photoelectric effect, then its experimental setup, then the results of the experiment, laws of photoelectric emission and how Einstein explained all these laws of photoelectric effect. Introduction to photoelectric effect. There are many physical phenomena that suggest that electromagnetic radiations should be regarded not as a wave but as a stream of particles. So, photoelectric effect is one such phenomena which gives the information about the particle nature of electromagnetic wave. The phenomena of ejection of electrons from a material by the action of light when the light of suitable frequency falls on it is called photoelectric effect. The emitted electrons are hence called photoelectrons because of their method of production, because they are produced when the photons or the lights fall on them. Experimental setup. Experimental setup of photoelectric effect firstly consists of an evacuated glass tube. So, it consists of two electrodes, C is cathode and A is anode. Then a quartz window is kept so that a light of suitable frequency falls on the cathode C, which is attached to photosensitive plate. A micrometer is kept to measure the photoelectric current and a voltage V is kept for varying the voltage. Now, what are the experimental observations of this experiment? In this experiment, there are three main variables. Number one is intensity of light, number two is frequency of light, and number three is voltage between cathode and anode. So, keeping any one of these three constant, we can measure the variation between any two variables. So, for example, if we keep the intensity constant, we can measure the variation between B and C, that is frequency and the voltage. So, based on this, we have three graphs or three variations. So, number one, we study the variation of photoelectric current with intensity of light. So, in this case, we keep the frequency of light fixed and we vary the intensity of light falling on the photocathode and we measure the photoelectric current using the ampere micrometer. So, it gives us the conclusion that the graph between the photoelectric current and the intensity of light, as we go on increasing the intensity slowly, the photoelectric current increases. This shows that the photoelectric current has a linear variation with the intensity of light. Secondly, it is found that there is no detectable time lag between the switching of light and the emission of photoelectrons. So, this is just like an immediate process, there is no time lagging between this. Now, second variation, we keep the intensity of light fixed and now we vary the photoelectric current with the applied voltage. We vary the voltage from minus V to plus V values and we note the corresponding current. The graph obtained is shown in the picture. So, we found that if we plot this graph for two different intensities, fixed intensities, then they meet at one point which is negative value of potential. This potential is called stopping potential. Hence, we conclude that there exists a minimum potential V naught below which there is no photoelectric current. This potential is such that it can stop the photoelectric current. This is called stopping potential. From the work it is doing, it is called stopping potential because it is stopping the photoelectric current below which there is no photoelectric current, or also called cutoff potential. Also from the graph we see that this stopping potential is independent of the intensity of light, because for two different intensities I1 and I2, the stopping potential is same. Third variation we plot between the stopping potential with the frequency of light. So, for this we introduce a light filter between the source of light and the photocathode and we allow certain frequency to fall on the photocathode. Now, we plot a graph between stopping potential along y-axis and the frequency of incident light along the x-axis. From this graph, we conclude that there exists a minimum frequency below which there is no photoelectric current. In the graph nu naught and nu naught dash, they depict the minimum frequency or the also called the threshold frequency. So, below nu naught or nu naught dash for two metals A and B, there is no photoelectric current. This frequency is called threshold frequency. Secondly, the stopping potential varies linearly with the frequency as it is seen from this graph. So, concluding all these variations and all these observations, we have 4 different laws of photoelectric emission. Number 1, from the graph 1, the photoelectric current increases linearly with the intensity of light. Second, the maximum velocity of photoelectrons depend only on the frequency of light and is independent of the intensity. Number 3, photoelectric effect does not occur below a certain frequency which is called threshold frequency, also denoted by nu naught. Last, the emission of photoelectrons is an instantaneous process. There is no time lag. So, these were the laws, and now comes to how Einstein explained these experimental observations and these photoelectric effect laws. So, coming to Einstein, he offered an explanation based on quantum theory of light. So, Einstein made 2 assumptions. Number 1, a light wave of frequency nu consists of tiny bundles of energy called photons. And secondly, one photon, Einstein assumed that when one photon is completely absorbed by the electron, then one electron is emitted in this case and the current occurs. So, these were the 2 assumptions of Einstein. So, based on this, we have Einstein's photoelectric equation. So, according to Einstein, the energy of photon is used in 2 ways. When a photon falls on the photocathode or the material, its energy is used in 2 ways. Number 1, some part of the photon energy is used up in releasing that electron from that metal surface. Some part is used. Secondly, the balance of the energy left is used as the kinetic energy of the electron. Means some part is used for the emission and some part is given as the kinetic energy of the electron. So, we can write the total energy of the photon which is falling on that cathode according to the conservation of energy. Photon is the falling. So, this is equals to the energy which is required to eject the electron, which is also called work function, plus the maximum kinetic energy or the kinetic energy of the electron. So, writing it in the equation form, we have E is equals to W plus kinetic energy, where we are denoting W as the work function. So, E is the energy of the photon. So, we have h nu is equals to W plus kinetic energy, or kinetic energy is equals to h nu minus W. Let us call this equation as number 1. Now, at threshold frequency nu naught, electrons are just ejected and they do not have any kinetic energy. So, at threshold frequency, it is just like electrons are just emitted. So, they are not having that kinetic energy. Below this frequency, there is no photoelectric effect, there is no electron emission. Thus, the energy of the photon in this with this frequency must be equals to the work function of the metal. So, we can denote W as h nu naught, where nu naught is the threshold frequency, h is the Planck's constant. So, putting this in equation number 1, we have the maximum kinetic energy equation becomes kinetic energy, which is also equals to half mv max square, because we are talking about the maximum energy of that emitted electron, is equals to h nu minus h nu naught, or we can write half mv max square is equals to h out of the bracket nu minus nu naught. Here V maximum is the maximum kinetic energy of the electron. Let us call this equation as number 2. Now, also the work done in stopping the fastest electron, we found out that there is a stopping potential which is just sufficient to stop the fastest electron, and it can only stop the electron if its energy is equals to the maximum kinetic energy. So, EV naught, from this case EV naught is equals to half mv max square. So, from equation 2 and 3 are the fundamental Einstein's equations for the photoelectric effect. Thus, in this case, Einstein explained the photoelectric effect by using the particle nature of light. So, this was all the Einstein's explanation and all the calculation for the photoelectric effect. So, based on these calculations and assumptions, now Einstein explained the laws of photoelectric effect. Number 1, according to quantum theory, intensity is defined as the number of photons striking per second per unit area. So, if the intensity is equals to number of photons, that means if increase in intensity means more number of photons are falling. Now, as Einstein has assumed that one photon will emit one electron. So, with the increase in number of photons, the number of photoelectrons emitted will also increase. So, thus increase in intensity of light increases the number of photons and hence the electrons, which therefore increases the photoelectric current. This is in agreement with the first law of photoelectric emission, that intensity increases linearly with the current. Now, from equation number 2 here, we find out that the maximum velocity of the photoelectrons depends only on the frequency of the light. This is exactly the second law of photoelectric effect. Then equation 2 also tells that the frequency, if the frequency nu is less than the threshold frequency nu naught, then the total kinetic energy is negative, hence no emission can occur. This is the third law of photoelectric emission, that below frequency nu naught, no photoelectric effect or no current is produced. Lastly, energy is incident in the form of photons that are immediately absorbed by some atoms. As a result of it, the immediate emission of photoelectrons start. That means there is no time lag between the absorption of the photon and the emission of the electron. This is exactly the fourth law of photoelectric emission. So, in this case, hence the Einstein explained all the laws of photoelectric effect. So, that was all today. Thank you so much.